What's up, fam? Welcome back to the channel, unless this is your first time. If it is, my name's Dan. This is my channel, Mindful Missionary. And a year ago, in the fall of 2020, I moved my family from the United States to Sierra Leone, West Africa, to teach the gospel here, to advance God's kingdom. And so we've been learning a lot, growing a lot, as well as being able, I think, to help a lot. However, it's been a while since I've given you guys a little tour around our compound, and we've made some modifications and some upgrades, so I want to show those to you. So, before we get into that, let's roll that intro. So the first and definitely the largest upgrade we made could be found on the roof. So let's head up there. So here it is. Here is this thing I'm really excited about. This is our solar array, the solar panels to our brand new, newly installed solar system for the house here. This is not something that was our original plan to get. Our original plan was to go with generators because, as I'm sure maybe you know, electricity and reliable access to electricity is really problematic here. There is not a very good grid system. This house here in this neighborhood in Bow gets city power from the grid, maybe once every 4 days, give or take. And so that's obviously not very consistent, not very reliable. So we really have a need for a second option of where to get electricity from. And so our first thought and our first go-to, option when we moved here was to get a generator. And we've been through 2 different generators, and the generator that we're currently on is kind of a conglomerate of the 2, just kind of mixed and match. It looks like a Frankenstein generator, really, because the generators here are just not made very well. The quality is really low. And so that means what they're rated for, as far as the energy output, is really nowhere near what you can actually use them for. And even it's difficult to be able to fix them, and it's difficult. So we're running across a lot of problems. All this was kind of highlighted by the fact that when my wife first went into labor, the generator wouldn't even start. And so here I had to rush around while my wife was in labor trying to get power because it was 3 o'clock in the morning and it was completely dark out and we had a home burn. Anyway, so that just really inspired me to look more into solar and see, is that a viable option for us? And so we went ahead and pulled the trigger on that. We've only had it for about a week or 2, and so I'm still learning the system as far as its capabilities. One of the challenges of having solar in Sierra Leone is that there is a rainy season. Now, 9 out of the 12 months in Sierra Leone are fantastic months for solar. But then you have these 3 months in between that the rains are intense. That means your sunshine hours, your peak sunshine hours, are limited to about 2.5 to 3 hours a day. And so that means that, sizing out a solar system to be able to accompany your electrical needs during that period is pretty challenging. And so the type of setup that we have is that this will give us great powered access the 9 out of the 12 months of the year. And then those 3 months in between, we will use our generator and turn that on for an hour or 2 every day to top up our battery. All right, sorry about that. Apparently my camera overheated. It's hot on my roof, good to know. So long story short, we're gonna supplement the generator power during the months where the sunlight hours are less. As far as what we can power with this setup, it really will depend during the timing of the year, but for the majority of the time, we will be able to power our fans pretty frequently throughout the day. We'll be able to have light pretty frequently throughout the entire day, and we'll be able to charge any of our electronics. We'll also be able to power our mini fridge. So far, we've been able to power it 24 hours a day, which is huge. Just to give you an idea of what we've been used to earlier, up to this point, we've been averaging about 4 to 5 hours a day of electricity. That's only when we turn on the generator. And so this is a pretty significant jump up. Now again, we're still in the experimentation phase. I'll kind of get an idea of the personality and the rhythm of this solar system to be able to know what we can use and what we can't. But right now, that's what it looks like. If you guys are interested in a more detailed kind of description of our setup here, please just indicate that in the comments below. All right, well, the next upgrade is actually back here in the bedroom. So let's go take a peek, huh? All right, I'm gonna let Sonia talk about this one here. Sonia!
Yes?
You wanna tell us about this new little thing we have?
This is our new mosquito net. It allows for more space in the bed, which means that since we're co-sleeping with a little baby, we're not all pushed up against the side wall of a leaning mosquito net, but we have the full space of the bed.
All right, now tell us why you really like it.
I really like it because it's kind of romantic and dreamy and makes me feel like a princess.
So as you may have remembered for a few months ago when I shared with you guys the normal routine of getting water from this well, I had to pull it up with a bucket. I didn't really explain to you why we had to do that and why we couldn't just use this pump here, but Sonia is going to.
When we moved into this house, this pump was broken and the landlord wasn't super interested in fixing it. But a friend of ours found out that our pump was broken, and so he was willing to fix it for us, which is so great because when I was pregnant and postpartum, directly postpartum, I couldn't even get water from the well because it required, bending down and trying to pull that heavy bucket up. Whereas this method allows me to pump water while holding a baby.
So these modifications and upgrades, they're pretty cool. We're really thankful for them, but they're not essential for our contentment or our satisfaction. I think one lesson that we've learned over the past year of doing without some of these very simple things that we've added over the past couple months is that we've learned that we don't need a whole lot to be content. Contentment is a state of mind, not an environmental reality. And so we thank God for these additional blessings, and we think these blessings that we've received that I shared in this video will help us be more efficient in our time to be able to focus ourselves on kingdom-related things. We also think that they will add to our ease of life here slightly, where this will be a more sustainable thing. But at the end of the day, if these things were taken from us today or tomorrow, we'd still have more than enough to thank the Lord for. And we still have more than enough to be content with. And so I'm thankful to God that He's taught us that lesson. As always, thanks for checking in. I'll catch you next time.